What I've done out here in this slide, I have just detailed what I've explained you in the previous slide for those three steps: transaction cycle, setting up, and implementation. I've just taken up an example. Say order management. If it's order management or order to cash cycle that you have decided to pick up as your career, then you should start learning the transaction cycle related to order management, which is like booking your order, picking, shipping, invoicing, and receiving the payment from the customer. Then once you understand the transaction cycle, the next step is setting up the module, which involves a number of steps out there. Say learn by setting up the module. So each module you have to learn how to set it up, understand each field on the form, because if you go on to the next step of implementation, if client asks you something, then you should be able to explain what that field is about. If you don't know yourself what that field is all about, how would you do implementation? You will not be able to do implementation. You will not be able to answer clients' queries. It becomes very difficult. So you need to understand every field that's on the form to have a successful implementation career. Then you need to understand the background processes that runs behind the screens. This is important in the sense that if something gets stuck, then how to troubleshoot it, or if you are setting up a module, say order management, then as a part of setups you have to run certain background processes so that the transaction cycle completes successfully. So there are certain background processes that have to be run or scheduled in the background for a transaction cycle to complete, and that has to be done usually in every transactional related module. Fine. Then you need to understand something called as workflow background processes. Workflow, as the name suggests, Oracle has got an inbuilt background processor. It's called as a workflow, which is like a flowchart based engine, but behind that it calls up a number of technical packages, procedures, and APIs to complete a transaction cycle. But if a process gets stuck, then it is shown very clearly as a part of a workflow. Alright, so that's the reason it's very important to understand what workflow background processes are involved. In certain circumstances, like modules like order management, there are different types of workflows that are involved in different cycles of order management. Order management is a very big module. It's got different cycles. Say you've got a workflow or a business cycle called as internal order, wherein if it's a large organization, the organization may ask or the organization subsidiary may ask another subsidiary to ship them some material. Okay, so that's like an internal order, wherein internally you're asking one subsidiary of that organization is asking another subsidiary to send them material. Okay, so that's like an internal order. It's got a specific workflow. Similarly, there are several workflows in order management, say back-to-back orders, or drop shipment orders, or assemble to order, which involves manufacturing, and so on. So likewise, it's very important to understand the workflow background processes, because that's what you will use as a part of implementation. When you come to ACL, under the trainings, we detail every workflow background process that are involved as a part of the setting up and transaction cycle. So you seamlessly understand the details of each of these processes, and then you can utilize your knowledge as a part of the implementation. And finally, the implementation comes, and as I've explained you, it mainly comes from experience of which includes both your functional industry experience and Oracle related experience. So implementation is something that people like me can share their experiences or the business scenarios in the trainings, but no one can actually train you in the aspects of implementation. People can share implementation considerations but every implementation is unique. It's got its own challenges in terms of client's requirement and the solution given. So that comes mainly out of your uh, previous experience or your hands-on experience, and every project is different in terms of implementation. In the next movie, I will explain you the technical aspects or the technical knowledge that a functional consultant must have to be a successful functional consultant.